Welcome to Project 1911 Colt Commander Upgrade Project. Last time, as you recall, we installed the Ed Brown Bobtail mainspring housing. So I left that in place. So we're continuing with a stripped frame. And for this installation, there's a lot of information on YouTube that you can go see, nice videos that give a complete description of this process. But what I used was the Ed Brown Beavertail jig, and we will be installing the Beavertail grip safety. So how this was done was, if anyone needs to borrow this, just let me know. I'll be glad to loan it to you. And it's a fairly simple process. You basically just install it on the frame where the grip safety is installed. And it just screws on like so. And what that does is it gives you a jig of this surface, and then you have to match this surface and this surface to these surfaces. And when those match, then your grip safety Beavertail will fit right in nicely and operate correctly. So if you look, they were sticking out quite a bit when I started. So what I did was I first scribed a line on them. Then I took this off. And then I took this to a bench grinder and did a couple little grinds on it. Didn't take very much because that thing works fairly fast. And it got me. I just took it down to get me within 1/16 of an inch. And at that point I stopped and then came up to my desk vise and used some hand tools. I used a hand file and set it up in the vise and put this back on it, and then just filed away at it until I got it to match. If you look right down the profile, just got it to match, all the way around. When I did that, it fit in nicely, and it's really all there was to it. Then I also come to the back side here and followed the profile there also, because I noticed once I fit it up, I put my hand in there, that there was sticking out. It didn't, affect it too much, but it just didn't look very good. So I went ahead and profiled the back of this piece as well, just to make it fit up nicely and blend nicely with the frame and the grip safety. So taking that off, this just simply fits in there nicely now. I pop this in and it fits in, and then installing this in there, which is my new extended thumb safety. That's kind of a little bit of a task. It's if you wiggle it in, maybe it takes a little bit of a effort to get it in right. Oh, there we go. Turn that off. There it is. Pushing the trigger a little bit makes things easier. Pull that out. Pop that. Oh, there it goes. And there's a trick. It pops in just like that. So now, there it goes on. It has a little bit of movement to it. And it's nice and free. But there's some springs and stuff that need to be installed. And there's my new safety, my new thumb safety, like that. It works very nice. It fits all up beautifully. And worked out really nice. The only complication that I had was my frame is a little weird. The metal on this side is a little thicker than the metal on this side. So what I had to do is I ground a little bit off on this side of the Beavertail, and that matched up with the edge of the frame, very quickly, very easily. But this one stuck out quite a bit, maybe a 1/16 of an inch or more. So it took a little while, but I had to grind it down. So I grind it down flat and just kept working it until it flushed out and was smooth with the face of the frame. And then I blended it all in with a file work, as you can see right here. And then used a series of sandpapers. I think 220, 400, and then finished it up with 800 grit and smoothed it all back out. I worked this edge here, and then the bottom as well, until it all worked out beautifully. And there it is. The only thing I have left to do is I need to fit the Beavertail safety, the grip safety, has a little extension on it that engages the trigger. And I've ordered a new trigger, which is coming soon. And so when I get my new trigger in, then I can make that final fitment on this. Other than that, it's a done project. So I'm also waiting on some parts to finish up fitting my custom barrel. And with those parts, the trigger and the jig for the custom barrel, I should be able to finish this project off and complete the build. So there you have it. Beavertail grip safety, almost done. See you next time.